Are you new to wet on wet painting, or perhaps you're starting your very first Bob Ross painting? I'm going to show you the best and easiest way to apply liquid and magic white for your landscape painting so you nail it every single time. Let's go. Hey, it's me, it's Wild, and I'm here to help you with your creative passions with tips and tricks. And if this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow those creative passions, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and tick that bell so you know when my videos go live for you. And hey, at any point in this video, if you like the products or the services that I'm talking about, did you all a favor. Put links in the show notes below, so make sure you check them out. Now, to have the perfect amount of liquid or magic white on your canvas for an application, you actually have to do one step prior. You need to make sure your canvas is either gessoed or you have to gesso it to the right amount. Make sure you give your canvas a nice touch to see if there's a good amount of gesso on it. If it's too dry, I recommend gessoing your own canvas. You don't know how to do that? That's okay, I got you covered. In the top right corner there, I show you a video on how to do the best way to apply gesso for wet on wet style paintings. Pause this video, watch that, and then come back here, and then you can start. Now, if you're starting your Bob Ross adventure out there, you mostly get your magic white in one of these three versions. Probably get the large 16 ounce or the 8 ounce can. Make sure you give it all a good shake so that way the oil mixes with the pigment. Or you can get the starter set, which comes in this nice little plastic tubing right here. Again, make sure you give it a good shake. But these are the most well-known. Bob Ross is going through a little bit of a different design, so your can or plastic tube may look a little different. Or if you're using a third party out there, these tips will still help, but this is generally one of the best ways to start if you're a beginner out there. A lot of people get held up on which brush to use for applying magic white. You can use anything from like this 99-cent Home Depot brush here to any of your Bob Ross brushes that come in the kit, whether it be the 2-inch or the 1-inch. But the 1-inch is probably gonna be your best way to start out because the 1-inch can actually fit inside the can, unless you're squeezing it out or scraping it out onto like a palette or a paper plate. But other than that, we're gonna start with the 1-inch brush. So now that I got my can of magic white here, make sure you give it a good old shake so that way the oil and the pigment can mix around. And we're just gonna dip our 1-inch brush in here so that way it's nice and easy. And take a good dabbing for the space of the size and just slowly start pushing it around. And don't worry about the application space just yet. We're gonna worry about that when we start blending this in with a 2-inch brush. But basically get a nice little thin coating across. You wanna make sure every little space is covered, which is why it's important to have this gray gesso around so you can take a look at what you're missing and what you're hitting. So let me show you what the end of this product looks like with the 2-inch brush. As you can see, I have my magic white on the canvas, but it's not entirely covering every spot. The reason is for that is because when you start doing wet on wet paintings, you want to make sure you have a nice thin layer, which means you really shouldn't overdo it. The 1-inch brush is good for putting things on, but you're going to work things in with the 2-inch brush. So to start doing some cross strokes and general strokes to get this into the proper position that you need. And there you go. We have a proper, perfect, and easy application. Now for a nice little fun tip out there, you're gonna do the 4-finger test. Now if you're generally covering your whole canvas, do each quadrant in the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, and just use each individual finger and it should come out looking exactly like if you're leaving fingerprints for when you get arrested. Hopefully you never have been. Now for a bonus tip. If you're the type of person out there that's worried about not putting the correct amount of magic white or too much or too thin, I recommend using gray gesso to start. It'll allow you to see if you're missing any spots, so that way you can touch up those particular spots, so that way it'll help you pull down colors and blend them naturally on the canvas. But if you don't have any gray gesso, another awesome bonus tip is the fact that don't be afraid to move around. Look at your canvas from left, on the right, up and down, and the reflection of light that strikes across it will show you spots that you've missed, so that way you can touch up the canvas properly as well. One of the toughest things when you're starting out as a new wet on wet painter or following a Bob Ross tutorial is getting your colors to blend perfectly and slip and slide around the canvas to create awesome effects. And when you have the proper application of magic white and liquid white on your canvas, you can work creative, wonderful things. All right, one last bonus tip. You don't have to be limited by using a paintbrush. A lot of people have had awesome success with using a foam brush. Just dip it in there and start pushing it around because this will allow you to manipulate the paint a lot easier for the grooves and everything like that. And you know what? You can actually use those big triangle makeup brushes that come in makeup kits. Those work awesome as well. So if you're having trouble with a brush, I say try out one of those foam alternatives. You know, Bob Ross, Magic, and Liquid White are great products, but sadly, they're not available everywhere. So you may have a hard time finding these depending on what region you're at. If you need help on how to make your own Bob Ross, Magic White, or Liquid White paint, you know what to do. Leave me a comment below and I will see what I can do to help make a video on that for all you out there. If you guys like this type of video and you want to see me create more videos, you're in luck because I come out with new painting videos every month. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and also tick that bell so you know when I go live, and don't forget to, like and share it with all of your friends. Until I see you all next time, have a good one out there, happy painting, and peace!